What's up, y'all? We back, okay?
Definitely.
It is a Drake and it is Shan. What's up? This is Talks They Don't Want to Have with Everything Culture podcast, okay? And She Gets It Pod. And this is episode 12. We're almost done. We got 3 more episodes to do, this one and 2 more. And then we're going to be done for the series. We enjoyed it. Y'all enjoyed it. And we just don't keep enjoying this one where we're talking about Black mentorship programs for the youth, okay, and why it's important. We're going to let you know some Black mentorship programs that's out there, just in case you know a teenager or you have a teenager, or maybe you're a teacher and you need to give a parent some ends on something for some guidance. But we need to talk about where are they, what do they do, how do they help, why it's a great resource, why it's a must, and how they show up in the community. But before we get started, I just like to say thank you for peeping the show. If this is your first time, go through the old episodes. You can find Drake on Everything Culture, on X, on TikTok, on IG, everythingculture.com. Please follow and subscribe. And he wearing one of his merch hoodies right now. Okay.
Always, baby. But I'm pull it back. Let's rewind it. Did you just say X? We saying X now?
I mean, just to let the people know.
We still do Twitter with Everything Culture, let you know that.
Okay.
But Shan is grown. Shan is with Lil Lon Lon. It's calling it X now. Okay, we ain't mad at you.
Now
We
he
ain't
said
mad at
that
you.
you show up in more places, so I want people to recognize that you on there too.
I appreciate it. We out there. Every THG culture on Twitter/X. But Everything Culture, not an I. And this has been a pleasure. Shan, you gonna miss me? We gonna miss this?
Don't go nowhere.
You sure right? I ain't going nowhere. We're gonna be together. But this has been a pleasure. This has been fun, y'all.
Because Drake got some episodes coming up with some guests. And he gonna get into his Texas thing. And it's gonna be really good for Everything Culture. So subscribe. Please subscribe to She Gets It podcast. I got a new season coming up February 5th. Um, it's gonna be different, okay? But it's gonna be good, and I just appreciate y'all. Y'all can find She Gets It merch on She Gets It shop with Teespring. You can find at Shambi Podden on everything. Check out shambiepodden.com. And we here. Please subscribe, okay? Please follow this channel, okay?
Yes,
We appreciate
yes.
you. So, mentorship programs. This is what we're talking about today.
You want me to jump in on this real quick?
No, I'm gonna say my piece because
Say your piece, okay?
I know you dabble in this a bit more than I do. But I will say, because these kids out here more so are coming from a home where two parents are working, sometimes multiple jobs, sometimes one job that takes most of the day hours. Some parents come home and they don't see their children until they sleep. Some parents leave before their kids leave the house. Uh, I don't think we have latchkey kids, anymore. We have code kids. We have kids that put in codes for garages and doors, and they basically out here parenting themselves. And it could be a two-parent home, it could be a one-parent home, it could be a grandparent's home, it could be an auntie uncle home. Either way, I think having guidance coming from a parent, coming from a adult in the home, and a coach or a mentee and a mentor and other friends and other parents, the more the merrier. Community, because that's what community is. It's your neighbors, it's your friends, it's the teachers, it's the coaches, it's the janitor that talks to the kids in the school. um, Kids need it. Kids need to know that there are other options for other lifestyles and other skills that they could want outside of the being an athlete, being a straight A student and just doing this job, or working at the grocery store, or being a rapper. And there's nothing wrong with those things, but there are so many different avenues of excellence that a lot of children don't know, because someone that looks like them, that is black, that is a African American black in America, has not shared the stepping stones to getting there. And so I think it's very important. I think a lot of parents, some are clueless as to how to reach their children, how to talk to their children. And a lot of children, I don't know why they're like this. A lot of adults are like this too. If the good advice is coming from a parent, you're the enemy. They don't want to hear it. They got their blockers up. If the good advice comes from someone else, loud and clear, they get it. It's clicking. And so I feel like mentorship programs are important. Um, Boys and girls clubs, I don't see them a lot anymore as I used to growing up. Girl Scouts, I'll see them sometimes. Um, I know there's a lot of uh, programs for coding now for kids, which I think is great, but it's not as widespread out as I would like it to be seen. I know when I went to school, there were programs like Avid program that helped you with skills for college, help you figure out how to do those things. Talking to your counselor sometimes help, but a mentorship program can help build their confidence, their self respect, how to properly socialize themselves amongst strangers, how to speak up, how to be just self aware. And sometimes you can't get that from home. Sometimes it's going to take someone else in the community to get that. And so that's my view on mentorship programs and why having a mentor is good. I've seen grown adults in a space in life where I'm just like, you need a mentor. And I don't feel like there's no age where a mentor wouldn't help you, because I've seen women need mentors, I've seen men need mentors, I've seen fathers need mentors, I've seen mothers need mentors. And it's just someone to best guide you in the lane that you want to go with more wisdom. That's it. It's not someone more perfect than you, it's not someone just better than you in everything, because everybody's imperfect, but it's someone willing to give their time and their effort to you to be better. So that's my jits on that. What do you think about mentorship?
I love it. So, a bit about I'm gonna go with the definition of mentorship real quick.
Okay.
And mentorship is the patronage, influence, guidance, or direction given by a mentor. A mentor is someone who teaches or gives help and advice to a less experienced and often younger person. In an organizational setting, a mentor influences the personal and professional growth of a mentee.
Mm.
So I've been a mentor woo, since the age of 20 almost in some sort,
Mm-hmm.
either to I'm in, you know, junior college and I'm mentoring a high school student, me going to work for CPS and mentoring a younger or newer employee, from me going into CPS, moving, working with children in foster care and foster youth, and then transition out of the program side and moving into the outreach side. And some kids will reach back out and like, hey, would you be my mentor? And just give advice and guide them throughout college, high school, and life and things of that nature, to all the way back to the professional sense. Now I'm mentoring people on project management, podcasting. I
Mm.
think you and I are both mentors on podcasting to numerous people. They may not put the title on it, but
Yeah.
we are.
Yeah.
Okay. So mentorship is needed. And I'm also a mentee.
Mm.
So it goes hand in hand. I think it's just like with therapy. I think mentorship and therapy is both needed in our community, because why
100.
not take advice from someone that has more experience than you in something you want to learn about?
Right.
When I got into the DEI realm, I have two mentors that are great, and I mentor other people about the changes we want to make. We have great conversations, and now one of my mentors say he's my mentor. His mentor now. He's the mentee
Yeah.
since coming back from Seattle. So the things that we're touching on right now, it absolutely is needed for not only within the household, within the community and society, but also in the work, in the careers that we're looking at. So, some parts of mentorship, what it gives is direction, coaching, support, helps orientates goals, assists with training, motivates, of course, helps with advice,
Mm,
and it's a key element to success.
right.
I think most professionals would look into that and say the same. And I would also tell people the benefits of being a mentor. It validates our leadership skills, help us become recognized as an advisor.
Mm,
If you say yourself, Shan, as a mentor in podcasting, so both of us, people
mm,
may listen to us more like, hey, they would like to take advice from them.
mm,
um Learn to clearly communicate. Sometimes I may say some things that other people may not understand, but my mentee may help me. Hey, I don't understand what you're saying here. Can you rephrase it for me, or help me
which
learn it a different way?
which helps a lot of the young kids in interviews because a lot of
Absolutely.
kids don't know how to speak in interviews and speak up for themselves and make eye contact. And I had that in my notes, like the kids today, they have a lot of social media, but their social skills, they suck.
Yeah, but this is helpful for the mentor as well. These are things that help us as being better people in total, and help us gain new perspectives,
Hmm.
because we may be stubborn on some things, hard headed in some ways, but having the opportunity to like, it's a learning moment when you have the opportunity to mentor other people. And
Yeah.
lastly, you're giving back. Why
Yeah.
are you making it to this part in life if you're not giving back what you've learned?
Right.
And it helps you find new people to step up in spaces to live legacy. I was talking to my Uncle Larry,
Hmm.
and I consider Uncle Larry like one of my mentors. He don't know it, but look, great man. You heard me talking about him earlier, Shan,
Yeah.
and he's been on the show. 74 years old. Okay, 74 years young. Let me say that. 74 years of wisdom. All
The
right,
then.
you did, and he said something like he retired. He retired some years ago,
Mm,
but he felt a bit empty, like it's not done. And he went back to the high school where he was teaching.
mm,
And they called him back like, we need you. We didn't know you was retiring. Please come back. And he was like, well, I love the kids, come back. He's been teaching for what, 30, 40 years.
mm.
And I guess the kids now are the kids of the kids he's taught before.
Wow.
And so he's looking at the legacy that's been built. They come back and be like, they used to call him Mister, but that's Dr. Pickens right there. That's Dr. Larry.
That's hilarious.
And not only that, they gave him this huge memorial and put it like a plaque of him. His name is on the wall and things. But the fact of the matter was, he's like, I have to come back and continue to teach. What's
Mm.
the point of planting a seed at times if you can't see the fruit that it bears?
I think
And
a lot
he
of people plant seeds in hope. It's
look,
not a lot of times people get the chance to plant seeds and see it.
a lot of people don't plant seeds.
Yeah.
A lot of people don't plant seeds and expect something to come from it.
Yeah.
But to see the full turnaround, to see his the kids he taught in high school now have children that are in high school and they have good careers, and to say, hey, I remember you
Hmm.
and respect this man. Hopefully he can see it come around another legacy as well. So that mentorship is absolutely needed, because even as a Christian, I would say him
Hmm.
praying for me yesterday would mean a lot to me. You
Hmm.
know, he said some things to me, and I would share with y'all that, for instance, you have to go to that valley. It feels good at that mountaintop. I know it does.
Hmm.
Sometimes you don't want to leave it, but you're not going to grow unless you go to that valley. But you will be back at that mountaintop again.
Hmm.
And I'm like, dang. It may not reach everybody like it reached me,
Yeah.
but it meant a lot. And that came from a mentor. You're not going to get that from a lot of people. Okay.
Right.
Um, Someone asked me to mentor another young man recently, And but this young man wasn't too receptive of mentorship at the moment. I would say that,
Mm,
but because some people, once again, I may not be the person for him. Somebody else may be a good mentor for him. Once
yeah,
again, treat it like therapy. I've mentored dozens of kids and dozens of adults, but my thing was I'm also mindful. I don't want to be your mentor forever. There's
right,
a time that we step away.
right,
Now we still can be cool and friend. You can hold me as an honorary mentor, but in like a year or two, I want to make sure I can leave an impact. So see how you're going forward and find someone else. Because
mm,
sticking with one person may not be overall effective. Mix it up a little bit.
right.
That's something I
Like
suggest for
keeping
mentorship.
training wheels when you don't need them.
Yeah, yeah. Learn different skills.
Yeah,
That's my thing. I can't think of any animes right now. You have several different masters. Someone may teach you how to box, something may teach you how to karate, some teach you more cardio, some might teach you more weights. But having a different mentor to help you out in the different skills is absolutely effective.
yeah. Um, I think the youth needs to see another way of being, in order to sometimes believe outside of their environment. If their environment is not the most encouraging, supportive, the youth need to be able to find their purpose. And some kids, they don't even know how to have that conversation because no one ever asked them what's your purpose, so they don't know what a purpose is. And it's really all about knowing what their interests are,
Who
building
you
up
be
that
with? I'm sorry.
conversation and figuring out what that child is good at. A
Mm,
lot of children are naturally good at something and they don't know that they're great at it because no one has ever told them that. No one has ever exposed them to other people that have that talent, and showed them what they can do with that to be profitable, to take care of themselves in the long run. And what matters to you the most a lot can be a great building block for your character, where you can go in education, um, business. Sometimes what you believe in and what's more valuable to you as a child. If you think back, Drake is there's something about Drake as a child that has come to him still as an adult. Whether it's his character, his empathy, um, his insight to see beyond where he is, all of that, your work ethic from when you were in school carries you being guided and nurtured into adulthood. Um, and all of that, you sometimes have to pay attention closer to the youth instead of trying to catch it as a teenager in their 20s, because it's harder to steer them because they got so comfortable in not being pushed. And sometimes when the youth get comfortable in not being pushed, you get that defensiveness, you get that um pushback that's not really necessary because they might be scared, or no one ever gave them that opportunity, or they don't know
Where
what
they've been
to do.
enabled to be this way.
Right.
Something I can speak as in a mentor that one of the you have to be so like I've been trained to be a mentor.
Mm,
Okay. I've been mentoring, then I finally went to a training, two like true trainings for mentors. Okay. Been to a couple actually. Went through one from the church and I went through one through the Houston Area Youth Center, the Hay Center here in Houston.
mm,
But especially one with the church that I find helpful, that you must have a relationship with the parents.
mhm,
You can't just have a relationship with the child. If you're talking about youth mentorship,
mm,
it has to go to the parents too. Because if you're doing this mentorship and you give it advice and the parents do the exact opposite or tell them something else, it's not going to be good for business at the end of the day. It's not going to be good for the child. It's going to conflict and it's going to be problematic.
yeah,
It is. I've had times where A kid may have a maybe dating someone.
Mm,
The parent may be absolutely against it,
mm,
and I'm trying to help this young man have more personal skills and relationship building skills and how to balance life. This child is 16, and before you know it, it's going to be 18. And if the parent is not allowing them to breathe or learn, it's not going to be productive for them. The advice I'm giving them is not going to be productive.
mm,
So I have to talk to the parents, and if the parents don't trust the mentor, that's going to be an issue too.
right,
And it can be a waste of everybody's time. We don't want that.
right.
But we want the child, the mentee to be successful. And as well, the mentor, we're human beings. We want to feel confident and comfortable in the work that we're doing as well. We don't want to come in feeling like we're a threat, or we don't want to feel like we're being threatened as well. So when it comes to mentorship for youth,
Mhm,
it's mindful. It's a it's a community event. Everybody has to be involved.
right.
And be mindful as a mentor as well. Like if you feel like that child is in danger, that child build that relationship. What are the three pillars of everything culture? Shan?
Don't do this to me right now. Hold on.
Shan, come on. Shan, don't leave me, Shan. I know you know this, Shan. It's on the sleeve, Shan. No, it's on the back of the shirt. Hoodies you can find at everythingculture.com. That's an A, not an I. But our pillars are respect, communication, and consistency. Those are the three pillars that we believe is necessary to build a productive and successful relationship.
I had
It's-
to say some things that Drake wouldn't approve of. So, but yes.
Thank you for that, Chan. Thank you for that. But once again, it comes down to respect, communication, consistency. We
Yeah.
have to have a level of respect for one another. We have to communicate with one another, and we have to be consistent with those things. And I tell my mentees, you can call me within these hours of times. I used to say 24/7 at times, but
Yeah.
some of them mentees be like, hey, they're gonna utilize all them 24s and all them sevens if they need to. So build the boundaries. Let them know what you're here to do. What are
Yeah.
you here to and know what are you here to do as a mentor? What are your intentions? Let that child or let that individual know your intention. Let the parents know your intentions and your goals for them.
Mhm.
And then be consistent. If you say something, you better follow up.
Because them kids will hold you up to what you say. Well, you
Not
said,
only kids, adults too.
oh, yeah, yeah, yeah.
Adults too. I got a mentee right now in Seattle. He older than me. And he
Mm,
like, hey, I need you to text me every other week. He'll get that. He may not respond to the text I send him, but I send him a text.
mhm,
I'm gonna be the man of my word.
yeah. And that's
So
that character building too, because
mhm.
I don't know what a lot of parents think is going to happen if you don't give your children duties, uh, some type of chore, deadline, check in, and they don't have it. And then all of a sudden, when they turn 16, you expect them to be able to balance school, a job, a phone bill, their car insurance. Then when they turn 18, you think they're just going to be so successful going away to college and managing all of that when you wasn't building up, helping them build up to that. You didn't let them take control of doing their own laundry, cleaning the house, coming in at a certain time, having a deadline, not giving them those limits, and now they're in life with limits. It
What
has to be done at a certain time.
I saw Kev on stage state earlier.
Yeah.
Love some Kev on stage. Corny self. Um, he stated, when he's one of those parents that he don't believe his kid should ever have to leave the household. You can stay here forever. You know, it's crazy out here. You gotta go to college here. Go to online college, stay here. It makes sense. And I'm like, I agree to quite a bit of it, but I'm also to that point that if something happened to you, will they know what to do?
Mm-hmm.
And but that's my trauma. That's my experience. That's my mindset. I didn't have that ability to always rely on adults. Okay.
Me
I
either.
come from, I come from a world that, man, people will fail you.
Mm,
You better like, it's a great to have a safety net, but you better know how to walk and run on your own,
mm,
you know? And it's one of those things because something can happen, something switch over. Um, no, and what if they become a paraplegic or something like that? Are you able to take care of them?
yeah.
I come from more of a worker nurturer mindset.
Mm,
It's great when I can be nurtured. Don't get me wrong. I love to be pampered. Okay. But I'm very mindful of if something, and that's what my family and my friends, especially my wife, she said this in our vows. Like if the world was going crazy, she knows she can rely on me to make sure we're safe and keep everything together.
mm.
My friends, since we were in high, I remember they used to say we were in high school, like senior year, they're like, man, Drake is always ready. He go be cool. Like I'm keep it cool when things are chaos. I
Mm.
used to keep, they always also say, man, if they needed something, I used to keep crazy stuff in my pockets. I done eased up off it to this day. They're like, man, I sure do wish I had a screwdriver. Do you remember Bag and Sag and Barry?
Let them do
All
something.
that. I'll be there. Here you go, screwdriver right here. Wait, what?
Goodness.
Man, I sure did need a paper clip. Wait a minute, give me a second.
Well, that was me in college. I always had a big bag, and when people needed stuff, it's usually in my bag.
He's all I stay ready so I don't have to get ready.
Yeah.
That's just a behavior of me.
Yeah.
So now when I'm hearing like, preparing for people, all their kids don't have to do nothing. They can stay up under me and all that. Like, ooh, you spoiling them. Spoiling them, make sure they rotten.
I
It's a balance. Don't get me wrong, because I've seen it happen. The kids are much more successful and they can give back and all that. But I've seen on much more occasion that those kids don't feel like I need to do nothing. My parents will take care of me.
and that's where I'm just like, okay, I've been preparing mentally for who my girls are going to be as preteens and teenagers because what I had to do as a preteen and teenager in this world now, no, I don't want them to have to do it the way that I had to do it, but I don't want to enable them to not try as much because they know, oh, my mom's just gonna pick me up, or my mom's just gonna drop me off, or I'm not gonna have to pay for that because my mom's gonna be able to pay for it. And um I don't want to limit them as far as letting them see what can I do for myself. And that's the balance of it all is knowing your child has some more oomph in them, but because they're so comfortable, they don't even tap into it. They feel like that's below me. That's what other people have to do. And my mom not driving helped my character a lot more. My mom not paying for my phone bill ever in life helped my character a lot more. My mom not having to come in my room and tell me, "Oh, you got to be at work at 5. You got to get up. You got to do X, Y, and Z," or you need to do this. This is due today, or did you call your brother to see if they could come pick you up? And I have always set my appointments, know my schedule, made sure I was where I needed to be, and nobody had to tell me to do it. So now it's very frustrating for me to have um that ease when I see adults struggling with that.
No, that's it. So we're gonna dip into a different conversation.
You
But
know,
Shan, have you ever had a mentor?
I feel like I have, but not intentionally. Like I knew who those people were in my life, but it wasn't like I'm this for you. You know what I'm saying? But I wasn't just raised by my mom. I'll say that. I was raised by people who peaked my character and knew like, yeah, she can do X, Y, and Z herself, but today I'm gonna help her. Or I know she get off at this time. I'm gonna just show up where I know she gonna be, and I'm gonna help her get from point A to point B, so it don't take her longer than it needs to. Blah blah blah. But I saw that it wasn't like they wanted me to depend on that, and a lot of the people that I've met in my life has been because I was never afraid to help myself. I was never afraid of work, and good people peep that. And that's how those good people came into my life, which is why having a mentor can open windows you didn't even know would be open, because a lot of teachers and people in academia, they want to see that, oh, you're willing to do the work, you're willing to show up, none of your friends are here and you're showing up, so they give you that extra empathy for you to get certain things done that other people don't get.
Motivation.
You know what I'm saying? Some people are self-motivated and some people are not.
But still, motivation is helpful for even people who are self motivated.
Yeah. And so I think that helps a lot. And sometimes it takes someone who is not related to you to point that out.
Or related to you too.
Yeah. And then
It may not be in the house. Once again, I grew, I have cousins and aunties and things. You didn't have to be part of my nuclear concept to, I look at you, that is just as much support as well,
yeah.
you know. So, but that's my mindset.
Did you ever
So,
have to mentor somebody who where the parents was jealous of the child or the help the child was getting?
um,
Because I've seen that in the book.
kinda. I've had a mentor a child where the parent wanted to unalive the child. So yeah, I guess. Like
Wow.
once again, I've dealt with I got a couple kids that call me father. It's
Mm.
like I'm closer thing to them as a dad because and it's hard, I stay empathy good. I have to tell them like you cannot be around your people. Your people do not have your best interest in you.
Yeah.
That's hard type of mentorship to tell them to forsake their parents. And no matter what, no matter how these kids may say, I can't stand my mama, I can't stand my daddy, even the ones you see online now, all this yipping yapping they may do. Guess what? They still want a relationship with their mother or father.
I know they do.
If they could have it, they would absolutely take it.
Yeah.
Promise you they would. And it's hard.
Yeah.
And it's like you can lie to yourself, but you can't lie to me.
Yeah.
Okay. So, and then I had one of my mentees over the past couple of years, and I understood he saw some other kids with their mom, and then he went into a depression. It's like, man, I want that. Hey, fella, you cannot have it. I'm sorry,
I mean, I see that.
but like we can come in as a couple because even me being a mentor, my relationship and the connection between my wife and I, we are a representation as well. Just like we have other married couples that we look at as married mentors for us, you know.
Yeah.
But hearing that from him, it was hurtful. But I'm like, your mama don't want that relationship with you, bruh. And
Mm.
if you open that door for them, your mother could hurt you, and I don't want that happening to you. That's the type of connection. And a lot of mentorship don't get that as in depth. But I've worked for the topic. Once again, I've mentored numerous. I mentored kids that has just been very light. I've mentored adults that I'm just talking about the work. I mentor and some of my mentees have like legit cried on the adults and the youth have cried on my shoulder, like just need someone to stress. And it kind of leans into a little bit therapy that I'm like, hey, let me go ahead and get this license and just, become a
Yeah.
counselor and therapist. But you got to be mindful. Sometimes it's just like, okay, this is what you need to do for a podcast. These are the steps you need to take. This is what you need to follow up on. This is when you need to market. This you need to talk about. When you run into something, when they run into something, they give you a call
Mm.
and just chat, get things off their chest and their mind. That's mentorship.
Mm.
So yeah.
Well, um, we talked about the empathy. We talked about um, building the confidence through mentorship, spotting the motivation. Let's talk about some great mentorship programs that's going on out here. I know you in Texas. I'm in Atlanta. Um, I looked up a lot. There's a lot out here for boys and girls. Um, I think I have a lot more on this list for boys, but I'm gonna just go through them. If you know of any, please stop me. You could talk about it. But what type of Black mentorship programs are already existing? We have Mentoring Brothers in Action, MBKA, which is My Brother's Keeper Alliance, Winning Futures, that's out of Michigan, the African American Male Initiative. Um, they have the Children's Aid Society that helps children 2 to 8. The Arts to Grow helps children 5 to 18. That's in New York City. The Beacon program helps children from 1 to 12. That's in New York. The Boys and Girls Club of NYC. I know about that. The Bronx Works is another mentorship program. One that I've been seeing a lot in different states is the 100 Black Men of Virginia.
I was
They
gonna bring them up. They have 100 black men in Houston. 100 black men is national.
Yeah.
I'm thinking about joining them, but they want you to
Oh,
pay to be a part of it. But that's how some of them go. But
okay.
yeah,
So they help children 8 through 18, and they focus on work ethic, life skills, moral character, emotional skills, self identity, and personal vision. With the boys, you have the Simba Mentoring Program out of Ohio, the Malika Mentoring Program out of Ohio for the girls, the 4C Coalition Mentoring and Tutoring for kids aged 12 to 17 years old, Project Ready Mentorship for children's 11 to 18 years old in New York City. 100 Black Men of Atlanta is here. Rough Draft Atlanta is here. The Black Freedom Circle. I don't know what state that's out of. I'm not sure, but it helps children 13 to 18. And they pointed out that more than 40% of Black boys do not graduate from high school. So a lot of their focus is making sure that Black men see it through to graduation at least, and help them with their vision for what they want their future to be after that. Then you have the mentoring brother to brother in Dallas, Texas.
I was gonna say I know the owner.
Oh, so why don't
Yeah,
you join that one?
what you say?
Why don't you join that one?
I mean, I like. We'll talk.
Okay. The one that you mentioned, 100 Black Men of Greater Dallas and Fort Worth, is on here.
But it's Houston too. 100 black men. It's 100 black men in Houston.
Okay.
But Greater Fort Worth. But mentoring brother to brother. They got one in Dallas Fort Worth and in Tarrant County, and they have one here in Houston. I know the one that started in Houston.
Yeah.
Um, like I need to reach out back out to them.
Yeah.
Oh my good. My cousin actually have a mentorship program. She's a eight. But and before we even forget the sororities and fraternities, they usually have mentorship programs for the youth as well.
Yeah.
From I know the AKAs have one, the Deltas have one, the Alphas and the Omegas have one.
Yeah.
Um, the the Chauncey Glover Project, there's a big one that's here in Houston. I mean, in Texas in total. The
Yeah.
African American Youth Harvest Foundation. One I'll talk about is Mentorship for Life. That's another program that's here. The Hay Center. That's one I've been a part of.
Mhm.
That's the Houston area youth center that's empowering current and former youth. So a lot of these kids, when they come into foster care, like, okay, yeah, you age out, you get a lot of benefits. You don't know what the hell to do later on. The
Yeah.
Hay Center is a great program to help them guide themselves throughout the future.
Mhm.
So and this working specifically with kids that were in foster care.
Mhm.
So that's a different level of mentorship as well.
Mhm.
But and always through your local churches. I was just talking to one of my good friends that is a pastor now in Longview, Texas, and I think I shared the experience that saw some kids, misbehaving and a parent stressed out. Nobody stepped up. Nobody's other than myself. They
Mhm.
came there, and I said, I don't live here. I don't do this. You need to start a men's program. You need to start a mentorship program.
Mhm.
Something. Take these kids on field trips.
Mhm.
with get talk to the parents, get some a baseball game going. Pray for the parents, pray for the families. Go and start a food drive and just take something out. Cook a fish fry and deliver it to the families and things. All these things could be helpful. If but we need to show up as mentors in the community.
Yeah.
Give back. We
Yeah.
all got things to do. We're all busy.
Yeah.
You may have your own kids, and you may be a great father to your own kids. You may not have kids. You still have a great father instinct that's in you. I don't have kids, and I still mentor like crazy.
Mhm.
But my thing is, all of these places that Shan has named and a few that I've named, if you want a mentor, you can. There's programs nearby. A simple Google search will suffice.
Google, TikTok. There's a lot of
Twitter, I'm trying. Y'all be Googling other stuff. Y'all be going to certain websites. If you wanted to find something, you'll find it.
yeah.
Just like this. Find it. Give back. Make that change necessary. And especially the people who look like me.
Yeah.
Okay. My previous job was to recruit advocates for the youth. This is what I do. And I'll be a hypocrite if I didn't do it myself. Once again, you can't go and complain about the things you don't see in the community and how things are turning out. And you're not doing nothing to make that change other
Right.
than doing what you're doing.
Right.
It's about time. If this is reaching you, it's time to give back. Find out a way to get back. I podcast and I'm active in the community. Do
Mhm.
both.
Mhm. And if you do mentor or you have a mentorship program, when you see this post, go ahead and put it below. Okay. Go ahead and tag it, put it below. Um, I think a lot of schools know more information. You just have to ask, go to the office, talk to the teachers. There's always a way to get you more resources than you think is there. No child should have to grow up lacking some sort of guidance because maybe you work a lot, maybe you have a lot more kids, maybe you just feel like you can't be everywhere at one time. You don't have to be. There's always people in the community. Even Drake's TikTok today where he's talking about how we need to get to know our neighbors. um Even
Mm,
I've lived here for 5 years. I don't know any of my neighbors personally. I don't
mm,
I don't talk to them, but I know they know. Like I have two kids. I live here by myself. Their dad comes here. My brother comes here, and like that's it. And I know who has kids on my street, but again, we don't talk. And so just being able to know where to go goes a long way. So Black mentorship programs is a need. I'm not saying other mentorship programs are not important, they are, but we're talking about our Black youth, because we're low on the good things that children get in this country, and we're high in places of where children have no purpose of being, and not for the greater good. And so we just want to balance it out and make sure all children are getting a fair chance and a fair opportunity to be their greatest selves. And we appreciate you for listening to this episode. This was episode 12. You can find us on your favorite podcast app. Please subscribe. Please leave a comment and a review. We appreciate it. We'll be back with another one talking about how great it
and
is.
another one.
You know what I'm saying? And we got to have those talks that people don't want to have initially, but it's important. It matters. It needs to be talked about, and I'm glad we got to talk about it.
Yes.
Yeah, that is Drake. I am Shan, and we'll be back.
Peace.